believe you waited. But thank you very much for waiting. It was a very tedious trip, getting up nice and early and having it well planned. But when I got to the airport, they said, well, it'll be 2 hours and a half late. But anyway, it's delightful to see you all. It's a real pleasure to be here. That means there must be a few revolutionaries out here in Arizona. That's right. And as I recall, I think the revolution may have been born here, at least our new revolution. But it is wonderful, and a lot has been going on. You know, I was a bit surprised about how well we all did in the campaign. But what I've really been surprised about has been the momentum after the campaign. And it's been with the young people in the college campuses. That's where I get my most energy, from you who are young and energetic and care about things like coming home with our military and getting rid of the Federal Reserve. This week has been a pretty busy week in Washington, and it was a busy day yesterday for media. Matter of fact, it seems like I get more media attention now than they give me during the campaign. And I don't know if any of you recall, but there was an occasion when Fox News Network was never on my side, nor did they have me come but I'll always keep an open mind, because now they're very eager to get me on all the time. But I found it interesting last night. The message of liberty, I've said so often, is a very popular message, and it brings people together. But last night I was on it was Glenn Beck's show, but Judge Napolitano had it. So Napolitano had, and he was good. So I went from what is seen as the very, very conservative station, and then I walked across the hall and got on another interview, and it was that, not exactly conservative, but Ed Schultz's show. Now, you say, why does that happen? Is this good news or bad news, or why do you get on all those shows? It's because the message is popular and brings people together. So sure, a conservative station is going to talk to us about economic liberty, but when I got on Ed Schultz's show, he said that one night, some of you may remember, we really had a shouting match going on, and he opened the show last night. He said, we're not going to have a shouting match tonight. And I said, well, that's good, but it's going to be awfully boring if that's the case. He says, we're not going to have a shouting match because I agree with the issue we're going to talk about. So he was with us with auditing the Fed. But not only do you bring conservatives and liberals together for something like auditing the Fed, you bring everybody together. You know how many people we have on that bill? 313 in the House. And you know, we're having good news in the Senate. Another point being made that the individual that introduced it in the Senate was Bernie Sanders, not exactly a conservative. But quickly, Jim DeMint and others got on it and started working hard over there. But I think 4 of them now has put a hold on the Bernanke hearings, you know. And that includes Jim DeMint, and I think Jim Bunning and Vitter, and of course Bernie Sanders. But Jim DeMint did something a little bit different. What he said, I'm putting a hold on Bernanke's. We cannot have a vote on the House floor because I'm going to put a hold on this, but it can be overridden by 60 votes. But he says, I'm putting it on until we have a vote on 604, which is 1207. So the momentum is building. The momentum isn't there. There's not an understanding about exactly what we should do about monetary policy. Of course, I could make a suggestion for a little bit of guidance. Why don't we look to the Constitution and see what we're supposed to do? But nevertheless, the attention is being directed in the right place. Not only to Washington, the revolutionary activities today and the Tea Party movement, they're looking to Washington and also to the Federal Reserve for the responsibility for the mess that we're in. The Federal Reserve, of course, is an institution created by the Congress, but it's really not a government agency. It's a secret agency. It's a lot worse than being a private agency. And one of the things that they most resist is any attempt to find out what they're doing. That's why they're nearly hysterical now that we've had this legislation passed in the banking bill. Of course, the banking bill is atrocious, and it's sort of ironic. We had a vote on it in the committee, and I voted against it because it was 90% otherwise just really monstrous. But it will go to the floor. The chairman of the banking committee said it will not be taken out. That's not because they feel sorry for me and they want to do me a favor. They know you're available out there telling them what they have to do. Now, I think that whole movement is demonstration that the system can and will work if the people wake up and say, we want something different, because most members of Congress like their job, they'd like to keep it, but if they think all they have to do is pursue war and welfare and deficit financing, printing press money, and violation of our liberties, and they get reelected, they're going to do it. But what we need to do is